Hi, welcome to my channel. This is my third video where I will explain my template created using HTML and CSS. This template starts with two types of navbars. The first navbar has a main div with the class navbar1, inside which there are three child divs, one with the class contact, the second with the class logo, and the third with the class email. The parent div is styled in CSS using display flex to arrange these child divs in a row and justify content space between to create spacing between them. The second navbar has a main div with the class navbar2, which contains only lists. After this, section 1 begins with a main div named hero section, which is given a background image in CSS and a width of 100% so that it covers the full screen width. Inside this section, there is another div named left container, which contains some text and buttons. First, there is an H2 heading styled with a font family in CSS, followed by an H3 heading, a paragraph, and two buttons. The next section has a main div named About Us. Inside, there is some text, followed by a div named a B container, which contains two child divs. The first div, a B left, contains an image, while the second div, a B right, contains text along with two boxes, each containing an icon and some text below it. The parent div, a B container, is styled using display flex in CSS to align these elements in a row. Next, there is another div named a B black, which has a background image and contains another div named a -B container too. Inside this, there are four divs with the same class. The parent div, a B container 2, is styled using display flex to arrange them in a row, with justify content space between applied to create spacing between them. The next section is the pricing section, with a main div named pricing. Inside, there is text at the top, followed by a div named pricing container, which contains two child divs named pricing box. The parent div is styled using display flex to arrange them in a row, and similarly, additional divs have been created using the same styling approach. Next is the discount section, with a main div named discount section. In CSS, it has been given a background color and a width of 100% to cover the full screen width. Inside this section, there is a div named discount container, which contains three child divs named disbox, each containing some text. The parent div is styled using display flex in CSS, arranging them in a row. After this, there is some text, followed by the next section. The next section is the team section, with a main div named Our Team. Inside, there is text at the top, followed by another div named Team Container, which contains three child divs named Team Box. Each of these divs contains an image and text. The parent div is styled using display flex, arranging these elements in a row. After this, the offer section has a main div named offer section, which has been given a black background color in CSS. Inside, there is a div named content, which contains text and two buttons. Next is the testimonials section, with a main div named testimonials. Inside, there is text at the top, followed by another div named client container, which contains three child divs named client box. Each of these divs contains an image along with some text. The parent div is styled using display flex, arranging these elements in a row. The final section is the contact section, with a main div named contact section, which also has a black background color. Inside, there is a div named contact container, which contains four child divs named contact box, each containing text. The parent div is styled using display flex to arrange them in a row, with justify content space between applied to create spacing between them. And with that, our template is complete. Here is my code which I generated using Visual Studio Code Editor. This is my HTML file, and then this is my CSS file in which I style my template. My code is also available on my GitHub account.